Today is March 28th, 2013. I am interviewing Touchao at Central Connecticut State University in New Britain, Connecticut. Interviewer is Eileen Hurst, working with CCSU Veterans History Project. Also present is Casey Yang, who will be translator for this interview. Touchao, would you state your full name, your date of birth, and where you were born?
Con hãy con luôn về thành thọ ha, con nói yêu thế cái yêu ở tên.
Kurumbe tu za tha,
Con chuyện.
tu za tha. No yo, wahai kurun, dah. August 12, 1939.
Where were you born?
Born in Laos.
Con phải nhớ khá rõ tên.
In Xianghuang province.
Which war did you serve in?
Cô thà hạ đâu lu tất cái chuyện đó chính là luôn bị hủy cả này.
SGU.
Chỉ giờ thì cái chuyện đó đâu lu cái chuyện đó hủy cả này thì bên nào mới là do thì
Vietnam War.
You served in the Vietnam War with the SGU?
Yeah, SGU.
What was your highest rank?
có khó xa sẽ chấp tới giá trị.
Captain.
What parts of Laos did you serve in?
Có muốn ta hạ rồi có chơi tư họ đi kiếm lo nữa. Thật trả tư.
Region 2.
Military Region 2?
Yeah, Region 2.
Did you spend your service in the war in Military Region 2?
Các bộ chỉ tên họ lúc sẽ hở và ta hạ học khoa military all the slow có một họ tư thế nào có một họ chơi nào.
Cú yên nhá de tan thọ lệ cóประโยชน์ได้สิ
He stayed at that same place the whole time.
How were you recruited to join the SGU?
Thì có tin tao nữa rồi.
เขาวิจัยไปเสียว่านั่นนะเบีย
Hiện thì ở đi cái có thể đi tàu một ta hạ cho SGU nè.
วิเหตุการณ์รู้สิหันแต่จะได้นี่เก็บป้าอเมริกาสักก็เป็นป้าอเมริกาเป็นรู้ใจเดิมเป็นตุลาหายเลยจะกลัวโตป้าอเมริการู้ใจเดิม
He said at the time the U.S. needed help, and his leader said that they had to help, so they had to help.
What year was that?
รู้มาไปถึงดูวันที่จะปวดรถจุ
He said March 1st, 1961.
Who came? Did they come to your house or your school to recruit you and say they needed you?
Nên từ tôi hay có nên muốn tha hạ lại tôi nên chỉ là tôi nên chỉ cần tới.
แล้วสิโตเจดาชีไปเดาลานะพุนว่าปอนเดรว่าปอลฮูฮะเจก็ไปต้มสิป้าตูใจน่ะจอตัวละจงน่ะจื้อมกะถ้าป้าละไปต้มสิป้าแล้วฮูจะไปต้มจะติดแต่ให้แต่จะตู้ลัวญาลูรน่ะต้มน่ะจะไปต้ม
He said Van Pao, told everybody, like all the young men of all the towns, to gather up to go help because they needed to help. So all the young men just kind of went.
Did you all go together? And in what town were you living at that time?
你冇記來呀？你冇嘢？都同兩。
ไปหมัวเก
They went together.
ไปจากที่จะติดตู้มาไปจะไปหมู่ป่าอเมริกาใช่หมู่ป่าในพระปอนเดี๋ยวไปตัวโอเค
They went together. Him and his relatives, or I guess brothers or uncles, they were gonna go help playing Thao in the U.S. So they went. They went together.
What town was he living in?
佢
At
哋都
that
落
time?
定頭出啦。
ตอนเดินเป็นผักขาวลีมาใส่กับโลก
Okay. 嗰個
ไปลงเจน
nhớ cho nó tiếng là.
รีบผักขาวลีมาใส่โปรตีน
He just said the name of the town, which
Touchao.
yes, yes,
That's how I figured out how to spell.
right.
And then what did he say about Lima Site 14?
可能有
ที่มันรู้ฉันยังหงนะจะฉันยังหง
I guess it
อเมริกาจะสร้างฉันยังหงมาเมื่ออีลูเบเดินน่ะจะสมัยสงครามเวียดนาม
lúc
เด้อ
đó có nhớ chơi lúc sáng nhớ hồng đó.
รู้ฉันยังหงเด้อฮูลินเด้อนั่นน่ะ
Ấy lúc sáng nhớ hồng đấy học có lúc đó.
อย่า
He said there was the name of an airport that was near his town. That's where he lived.
Okay, so he was near Lima Site 14.
Yeah.
nhớ chơi
Okay.
ยอดเกียนเดินน่ะ
Okay, yeah, he said he lives really near there.
Where did you go right after you left your town? Where did you go to get your basic training?
Tất cả cái nhà này có lúc đó một cái mũ cởi tôi cho họ thứ xem.
เกิดคุณกับทหารเดียวก็ต้องเกิดCIA เคลียร์กูเกิดตัวผ่อนตัวป้าดง
In Padang.
เกิด
He went to Padang. Was that in Laos or Thailand?
แล้วจะเจ็บละ
Laos.
In Laos. And that's where he did his basic training?
อันนี้เขาก็เกิดตัวเจ็บพอ
ตัวเจ็บปออย่า
Yes.
What things did they teach you in basic training?
แล้วใครก็ว่าชีสเนี่ยเขาก็มาเกิดที่ไหน
โถเด้อเกิดแค่ตัวพ่อ
ชิวกัน
ตัวพ่อเกิดตัวพ่อเกิดกับโป้พ่อใจพ่อเด้อตัวกับไปตัวโป้จะไปตัวพ่อเกิดกินใจทหารอันนั้นเด้อ
He said how to shoot a rifle and the rules of military, or I guess how to operate within the military, because they didn't know anything before that.
How long did basic training last?
เดี๋ยวอีหลีเสีย
Just a month.
What kind of gun did they teach you on?
จะพอยิเต rifle
He said something about 8 clips or 8.
มันเป็น
Was it an M15 or an M16 or an M1 Garand? Kind.
and พิทินเดินมา and ชิทินเดินมาที่ต่อก้าเลยคนเดินเดินมาจะตัวหายใจจะคาบิน
Thôi nó một cởi nữa nè.
เกิดจะพอยิเต
Có thể được mấy cái hôi giá rồi.
rifle
He said the 16s and 15s were afterwards, but when they were training, it was something else. Yeah, major.
ถ้าเดินรอดจะยิเตเดินมาเป็นมงเนี่ยจะยิเตเดินมาจะยิเตเดินมาตัวออโตเมติกมาตัวมือรอหางมาเป็นมงเนี่ยตัวจะเดินรอด
He said the ones that they trained, the ones that they trained with were bigger, automatic machines. So more people love to like those better. So I guess it's an automatic weapon. Yeah.
Who trained you in basic training? Was it Americans, Lao, or Thai?
อเมริกันCIA แท้ครูไทย
Tụi tôi thấy có kia này đi ha.
อ๋อเจ้าหน้าที่อ๋อเจ้าหน้าอเมริกันไทยแท้อเมริกัน CIA นั่นแหละ
Tụi thấy có kia.
เจ้าขึ้น
He said it was Thai and American.
Do you remember any names of the Americans?
โอ้ที่ป้อเลยจะหาแต่ละซาจะคู่แล้วตัวเขียนนะที่จะแค่อีหลีตัวพอที่จะเลยหมู่แล้วล่ะ
Có chia ra là nó bé ở
จิบจะ
Mỹ
แก่
Ca này.
จิบป้อ
Mỹ Ca chỉ có chia ăn bé.
จิบป้อแล้วเดี๋ยวเรือคู่พื้นอเมริกันให้คู่พื้นไทยตัวเขียนนี่นั่น
Okay. He says he doesn't remember the names, but they just come in for a month and then they leave after they train them.
After your 1 month of training, where did you go?
大家可以去個個呢個冇對呢。
ต่อการนั้นจะประจำการต่อแนวหน้าส่วนปะดงเดลิซึมประจำการต่อหารงว่าเต็มสิบกว่าปะดงลงเจียงปะดงเต็มเดซึม
呢個係冇咗。
เมื่อรอประจำการต่อหารงเนี่ยเดซึม
OK，即係誇張咗幾日最能不動啊？
นั่นเอง
就有人叫你切殺個冇地啦，有啲。
ต่อจากที่หารงได้ต่อจากที่เนี่ยละเอ็นมีตอนนั้นจะเกิดแล้วตาจะจ้ามุติซึ่ง
It sounds like he wasn't moved far away. He says afterwards they went to Padang, like the surrounding forests, to guard in the forest.
So he didn't go far away.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Okay.
個全部地你邊度打人？
这的什么节点到节用节点，你那些节点被节用，你几个节用么烂的节去多么烂的，
chơi có nhỏ thì họ chơi có cỡ thì họ chơi có một chút tuổi nhỏ thì ok.
那就给把东可那节木的木一大树的节，也节点也是多的，真的，
Ồ vậy cái mùa đi ta show một họ chơi chút tuổi.
嗯。
Okay. He was trying to explain that everything was pretty close together to the border of Vietnam and to Padang, I guess. He said you go about half an afternoon to where he was fighting from where he was into the forest.
Did you have a specialized job in the SGU? What was your job?
Thôi có nhớ hồi là bậc khe có ôi à chị giờ mình chỉ là đi ô tô thả sát tông rồi ha tu trái nhớ hồng rồi ha tu quá chị giờ nữa.
一结果，看他这就不照就一，这就不照就一，结了把他的股也都帮到，那么这股了，这三股木个，啥东拖拉那个，的，
So cái bộ ô tô thả sát tông cho I mean
只要一到被叫了，这个radio 到这能的，真的木个一种，木个一种了，这พันหนึ่งตัวเขาพันหนึ่งมันว่าจะอยู่แท้แต่มันเกิดนั่นแหละจะพันหนึ่งเด้อ
Penang hay cái đó.
ไปโรงพยาบาลมาพันหนึ่ง
He said he went to a place called Penang, Lopraban, around there, to learn how to do. I'm assuming it's the telegraph or what's the name for that? I'm not sure. Where they use coding.
นั่นที่go to training radio
With
today
radio communication?
yeah they say for only
Like SOS? Morse code?
Yes.
More
that's
code
not
and-
enough.
radio telegram only
Radio transmission, so you were trained in communication?
yeah
How to use radio?
yeah
What kind of radio? Do you remember what the
radio the B radio
Chưa lúa thả lúa hay lúa tàu.
No.
Sao bây giờ?
lu chia no speed lu the you mỗi lu auto rõ đi nó
It was some kind of coding.
you đầu trước đây you đầu cô
And
chứ
you put it in
mà bề tờ chứ nó chân đó nó
Từ từ có một cái trong đó chứ nó.
trong cho chỗ gì à
He went to learn this in 68. Có một cái cho gì
And did
Yeah.
you learn that?
yeah
Where did he learn that?
And
nhớ rồi region one ở lộ pháp bang
yeah, that's where he went to learn that for 1 year.
region one
At Luang Prabang?
lộ pháp bang the
Who taught you?
tụi này sao một cỡ tụi này thì cũng chân đó thì ra cũng cỡ hơn là phải
He
cũng
was
cho
saying-
này cũng cho này
He was saying a leader knew that he was better with the writing and reading in Laos, so that's why they decided to send him. Thế thì tụi khe cái này từ nó có
tụi sao một đó
chưa tụi sao tụi thọ có một sao nữa có một cỡ nữa từ là
cho nên mà nó khu nó khu
mong
nó khu lo chứ
Block Hill.
Yeah.
He said it was Laos, somebody Laos that taught him.
How long did you stay in Luang Prabang learning communication?
ít sống
1 year.
Oh. So that was pretty extensive
所
training.
以对ညောဟင်းက
cái nó đó có cái bé thì mà cái bé sĩ có tha hàn thế nào bé sĩ
เกิดลบข้างบ้านเลย
cái bé thì mà có cái bé sĩ ở tha hàn nó cái 3 months only bé sĩ
These are hard First
bé
three
sĩ
months,
army
basic.
operation duty màต่อการ after 90 days mà cả tàu đó radio đó
Oh.
mà thế thì
I guess
cả
then
tàu
he had to do a prerequisite 3 months. The first 90 days, he had to learn basic, I guess, the way they work in the army, and then he was able to be enrolled into the radio program, no communication program.
From 1961, when you joined, until 1968, and you went for the communication training, what was your job for those first 7 years? Just a soldier in military
เขาอันนี้
region
ก็
2?
มุกเกิด
ทหารจะซื้อนั่นนะทหารประจำการตัวจอซื้อนั่นนะ
just a soldier.
What were your duties during those 7 years? What did you do like every day?
头路下乡的呢，我那个มุกเกิดเขาทัศน์ตรงนั้นเอกก็ต้องหรือชนลูกยาชีสนะ
ส่วนนู้นจะประจำการเราจะออกไปช่วงตอนแนวหน้าปีเหตุบ้าเกที่ไทยตัวจอเล่นเดินซื้อมา
เอกก็มุกตัวแก่เลย
แล้วตัวจอเกียรติหอย่อต่อของได้ตัวจอบ้า
He says preparations, being in the front, I'm assuming front lines.
Yeah.
And just fighting.
Every day?
every day yeah
How big a group were you?
ก็ยังป้าทหารเล่าหมดกันอ่ะ
แล้วเขาก็อีกของร้อย
นี่ของไม่เลยไม่ใช่ทุกทหาร
อีปัวเขาเรื่อง
พี่ปกเล่น
อีอีคอมพานี one company
It was one company?
yeah
So like how many men?
one company man is 110 people
What, when you were at Padang, was there a base or a headquarters, or was it just out in the jungle?
ถึงแล้วก็มุ่งยังแต่พระรองเนี่ยเลยยังว่าอีลูกใครเลยยังให้เตียนยังหารงซื้อหน่อยจัง
รูปประดงเดิมอีลูกชันยห้องอเมริกาสุดตัวปีอเมริกาสุดกับมองตัวนั่นเดิมจะเดินย่อขัดตัวตัวเดิมจะอเมริกาปอผ่อนเดิมจะเดินทวนในใจจะหมู่ประจำการเดิมนั่นแหละนั่นนะคนอีเขาจะทวนในเดิมจะเดินย่อสนามรบเดิมนั่นนะก็เปลี่ยน
He went back to say that in Padang there was a camp that was set up originally by the Americans that was being used by them, but then they brought in all the Hmong people to go and stay there, and that's where all the supplies were. 但是很多之后那不是到了不要可能呀。
เขาเดินเขาจะเดินตัวทวนในตาเจ
That's where they got
Sasha
trainings
the
and
Hmong.
everybody dispersed from there.
Did the Americans stay in the camp with the monk?
不是的，没干过，都那样的人蒙
มั่วมา
yes, he said yes.
มั่วไอ้เจ้าอเมริกาเป็นประตูอเมริกาดอนนะผมว่าปอได้แล้วมาตอน
He
เดิ
said
น
there was always like 4 or 5 Americans with Bang Pao all the time.
Did Vang Pao stay at Padang?
เนี่ย
So ปุญญา
นอนเดินมา
he stayed there too.
Did he live there?
ยิ่ง
I
ว่า
thought
ปอ
he was at Long Pien.
ถอนเดินปีอันเดมาเป้อันเดินตามมาเป้เดินเจอเดินมาเป้มาโมพักเขามาโมตาลงเจ้งเราจะปล้อมเราจะเป้เราจะปล้อมเป้มาโมตาลงเจ้ง
He said that was prior to 63, 64, and that's where one of the earlier places where they started, and then they went to other places after that.
So they started at Padang
ใช่
in the early years.
เขาเดินกับปีจะเจะมองตัวจะจ้องจะปะดงเดินตาเจ
First place where a lot of people gather, and then it
เจตา
dispersed.
ปะดงเลยเจมันยังเราต่อไปปะดงตาเจไปมาเตอร์นะมูเจมาโมตาเราลงแจ้ง
Okay, so he was saying that that place fell, and then they went and established Longking afterwards.
Okay.
เจต่อการเจลงแจ้งเฉลี่ยล่ออเมริกาสปอร์ตเจลงแจ้งเทล่อว่าอีลูเฮดควอเตอร์เจลงแจ้งล่อเจปะดงต่อกันเจ 也把动了，大家都被等到被伢天得起，也看前面啊，龙江也这样一路，黑块的拉，我产用拉么的，
He
Okay.
said afterwards they went back and got Penang back, but it was a smaller place now.
When he was originally at Padang, did the Hmong bring their families there? Did the families live there or just the soldiers?
Còn nên nhau Penang nữa, giờ ta hại nhau xong rồi nên cho nên chỉ nên tôi nhau hay nào?
走的嘛，西车不了的呢，被整这个了的，伢西不了，但是吧，被整伢路伢一带行的被开车路产用的的伢他喊，村里
He
这
said it was all mixed because a bunch of people were dislocated from Sinquan, I guess. But right in the camp itself was mostly soldiers. The families stay a little bit further away from the base, I guess.
How many people total about would be at
That base.
Padang at that base at that time?
Tức là lúc chờ nữa nên cho mà cho nhau có chờ nữa kia thế nào?
Nhau có được.
Nhau lúc base là chờ cho nên nhau.
是那弄的嘛，不满么里被不爬冷呢，
He said approximately 3,000 to 4,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you recall any specific memorable incidents from 1961 to 68 when you were at Padang?
Thọ sao cho ý mà cho gì nữa, thọ có cho nhớ bắt đầu nữa. Có bố mấy giả chỉ còn do rong do tranh cho họ lúc chờ nữa.
古
Like any battles?
Yeah, mua cái chuyện đó chỉ to rồi nhau anh chị có đó con nhau rong.
古是多古那种，如产的话，一颗古么一弄古去掉了，但是像我让往里照着被人的，
He said around 63.
古这
around
古
63.
古叫照人被木拉这边，被木不对。
Yeah, đi mua rõ nhà.
不让人们不对比的说开那么，若开呢，但是嘛都耐上的，个叫招人啊，那么鸡怎么啥都多那边，也个木的，被木的也木新茶的，古上古要都，这不的古上一度我古代，古要都ที่อ้อ的，เราตัวละก็的，你啦，到给多的，你啦多。กูเจอมาต้องมองว่ากูฉันแต่ตัวจุดที่อีจุดที่จิตตัวที่เป้แท้ตัวที่เปล่าบอกหลอน
He said
เขา
that
จะมาตัวเชื่อเกิดมุกูเด็
he said that there was one day around 63, right?
อืม
He's estimating, but they were sent out 6 of them to go and guard and inspect an area. And so he had somebody in front of him. But the in law on they comment.
อีตัวเสื้อกูตัวที่อ่อน
Okay, so he was the second one. There was somebody in front of him and then the other people behind them. And as they were going, I guess they came across enemy soldiers. And he said luckily he must have been very lucky. But they were attacked and it was very cái tiếng cơn gió đi cả nó. Thật là to nữa nè.
แล้วตัวเดียนี่ล่าสุดจะเอเคปจะชาต่อไปกี่ตัวเดียตัวเดียบอกเราเดียอยู่ผู้ชายเดียจะโตเดียถ้าอ่านมาสอบฟื้นเดียเชื่อเจอผู้โตคุณเนี่ยบอกนอนเดียช่วยได้ผู้ดีป้านะให้ผู้โตอยู่ที่นั่นเดียรู้จิตโตว่าเธออ๋อตัวดาบ
He said they were attacked by AK-47s, and so as a soldier, they all got shot at. So to tell if they were hit or not, they would hold their breath and blow air out to see if air came out
Of their body?
to see if they were hit, because you don't know if you were hit. But he said luckily the other people were hit and killed, but he survived. Cái đời này có cơn gió tiểu đó có nông đó có gió nông chẳng đó.
要还得要干这年头那的，说有这些的几多要有梦更高有
He
几
said he
的，
still remembers to this day because he must have been very lucky that his life didn't end there. It was, I guess, very close.
So you and the other guy, number 1 and number 2 guy
Yeah.
lived, and the other men were
哦，你
killed.
介绍了，你得介绍。
做阿杜弄大，阿杜大家一做，阿杜咧一做，阿杜弄大我做大。别找人可能。
6 people, 2 in the front were fine. The last 2 were fine, but the 2 in the middle weren't. Yeah.
我一做，做几可能的呢？做几能呢？
He said there was one that got hit right there.
做了国家做几了可能，我说。
When you were, for those 7 years at Padang, where did you live? Did you have barracks or tents or?
Thao lúc xa lúc xong có nhau hộ khăn nữa. Cái nhau lúc chị rồi cái nhau lúc chị là con cổ áo rồi con nhau chẳng.
今天呢，到开始，
Lúc khai rồi cả. Dạ có một
那是开的么叫中头写的么科个红地标的，开的么到那娃儿那的时候开，
Nhưng mà khởi ám nhau.
要开的么干到那的，可爱好的么到那娃儿里那，
For
你
xa
说
lúc xong đó.
要考了，接下说要考，就是多大的那，是多印度的那个，了过片子的，一包了在那拉的，你们要看那的，没考了就没得这
Chỉ
什么。
phần đầu chính là khởi ám nhau.
要可爱要手中哎，路中对中要了什么，的可爱的，我到那到那的要。
He says they would relocate, all around the area, but basically, wherever they were told to stay, they would usually pick a high area, high hill or mountain to stay. And they would dig out. I guess it sounds like a barracks. They would dig out a side of the hill and cover it up. If it was raining, they would cover it up with tarp and stay there until they were told to move to another place to relocate.
So they basically lived in the
Yeah.
jungle, off the jungle. They didn't have like
yeah.
yeah, no
rooms
no
and
house. Yeah.
what did you do for food?
Không có rau mỏ từ lòng.
叫那大家叫阿美加的，在路西很多人叫阿美加，在对 support 的在对么叫กองกำลังต่อการและ300-300ตัวเนี่ยถึงว่าอีลูกค้าถึงมาเมื่ออีลูกมีหยอดชั้นของไม่จะเฮลิคอปเตอร์300-300ตัว
He said
อยู่
every base there was a little spot for helicopters to land. There was a little I guess not headquarters but a little area where they would and they were being supported by ก็แต่มีการนะพี่อ่ะ
ถึงอเมริกามาเจอเรา
They
มา
were
บุ
being
ญเจ็บ
supported by the CIA, so they got their food delivered to them. And ก็แต่ CIA ซะเราหมอตัวนั้นเอง
แต่เรามาเนาะเจ็บพอมาตื้อเจเฮลิคอปเตอร์จ่าต่อลงแจ้งตัวเดินเส้นเดินจ่อจ่า
So helicopters
Just-
brought them food from Longking, and so that's how they got their food. Okay. แต่ก็ชื่อหายนะสิเพื่อนแต่ยังสมอตัวนั้นเอง Oh, okay. The one thing I was trying to think of was he said that there's people who deliver food to them, like that came to look for where they were, wherever they were located, and deliver food.
But they came by helicopter.
Yes.
Did the Americans provide you with everything you needed? Your uniforms, your food, your weapons, your supplies?
你哋咪介一度，兩個一度冇單頭出入，佢又都冇學，即是
แล้วหมอพอหมดตื้อเจ็บปวดชอนนะยี่ลี
咪介一度冇咩啊
มันเจ็
He
บหมดแต่
says bullets, weapons, clothes, and allowance.
Who paid you?
มีการ睇ก่อนนี่คือ睇ก่อน
ไม่กล้าเทตนะไม่กล้ามันเนี่ยตอนนั้นคนปอนะคนปอมาหมดไปเลย
He said the Americans pay Vang Pao, and the Vang Pao pay them.
How often did Vang Pao pay you, and did he pay you in cash or with other things?
你睇呢不出興冇解，你揾嘢。
วันนี้แค่เสื้อมันเนี่ยตัวเนี่ยแค่
OK，你去睇呢，然後你也去嘅，你都冇，然後。
จิตเตอร์มาหนูมันสามารถตัวแต่จิมาไปจากเนี่ยที่จะยังมันเนี่ยตัวตัว
你睇不出興冇解啦，不出種有你一年啦。
一里一周是一里
He says
的满地
monthly. monthly, and it's all cash.
Would then how come to their base to hand out the money?
你帮宝贝读，你不到到呢，那路车去哪去到呢？我也都没了，现在读多了。
ตัวมันตัวว่ามั่วเขาลืมมันตัวถ้าฉีดจะไฟเงี้ยนะฮะเนื้อมั่วจะตัวเขาจะท่าจะโจ้จะตัวขนาดจะตัวจิตจะเนื้อสร้างโดยจะเนื้อแล้วหัวหรือพักกี่หัวจะโอเดละจะเบื่อเงี้ยเดี๋ยวจะแล้วมั่วเดี๋ยวจะเดี๋ยวอีกกร้อยหรืออีกพันมันตัวการตัวไฟอยู่
Yeah, he said Nepal would come sometimes, but there's so many soldiers, so he'll have other people disperse the money.
Okay, we will continue with the interview of Touchao with a different translator. Casey Yang had to go to work, so Kia Chu Zhang will continue with the translation. Touchao, we were just talking about when did you first get promoted? How did you, right after your basic training, you were just a regular soldier. When did you get promoted to sergeant, lieutenant?
Touchao là về sang cho coi là thầu tư lạc cha là có nó cỡ ta là có mỏ hồ lửa là về sang cho coi là thầu tư
เยสันอีโรเจจะถอกูสิตัวกูให้ดันเดเป็นหมอลัตตะวินเนเป็นสิตัวตัวตัวแล้วกูกล้าตัวตันเราหล่อเล่นเจอีโรแท้
lên nó lúc sau từ
สงตัวจะเป็นนะมา
oh in 1963 after he have fighting or they have combat
กูจะให้ดันเดตัวแล้วกูกล้าตัวตันฮอนเราเล่นเจจัด
during the time and he had two friends behind he have been killed.
He got promoted after
Yeah,
that
he
incident?
got promoted at that time.
Was he promoted to lieutenant at that point, or captain, or?
Lúc sau thì lên về sang đây chỉ có
รถติ
rất từ đó.
Lieutenant?
second รถ
Second lieutenant?
Yeah, second
Okay.
lieutenant.
When was he promoted to captain?
Thôi thì vẫn lên về captain cho có thật sự.
แล้วเจแคปเตนมาจะที่จงอีเชียเจ้าปัวจาจะเป้นะถอดตัวจะเฉมว่าคือไม่กระไรเลยฮะเดียสันติภาพนั่นน่ะแล้วมั่ววิหารเดียแล้วยังฮะเดียตัวเด็กตัวมารู้สันติภาพมามั่วดก็มาชาวเป็นตัวเฉยลงในจานแหละ
He got promoted to captain 1973 before stop fighting the war because they said not going to be war anymore, but he promoted to captain. So whatever maybe he can carry captain for himself forever to for his duty.
Touchao, when you went up to Luang Prabang in 1968 to get trained for communication, after they trained you in that, where did you go?
Lạc cha đây cứ có hạt thì có ít thấy có bộ tôi chọn gì có một cỡ nhau chuột hông bàn em sao baoแต่lạc cha đây có một hạt thử lợi có một hạt thử lợi
กุตกาเพื่อนแต่ยังกุตกาเราประจำการเขากูเชิญซื้อนะตกาดอกกลุ่มของกูซื้อ
Long Cheng hả?
ดอกแจ้ง
After that he back to Long Cheng at the headquarters. Back to work at the Long Cheng.
He went to Long Chen because before that he'd been at Padang. How long did you stay at Long Chen then?
Thì có họ làm nhau tao không để hậu nó
ลองแจ้งเจียอดจนกว่าได้เจอตัวนี้ได้เป็นยัง
không để bắt mà chứ chẳng.
จะ
Cho là cho chủ gì.
จะเยียอดจะอยู่จีน
Oh, until 75.
Oh, so he stayed at Long Chen for the rest of the war?
Yeah, right.
What were your duties at Long Chen?
Có ổn anh chỉ nhớ Long Cheng.
ว่าสต้อง โทรเลงเดเตรียมกลับ
He still continue to do telegram.
So that's, okay, so you continued at Long Chen working on the telegram and sending messages?
จะชิมา คนน่ะไปจะน่ะใส่มาอีหลีน่ะจะปอยหมู่หาดงเจปอใจหลีจะเหลือตัวหมู่จะยอดตลอดเนาะน่ะจะหาปอเลยนะหมู่นั่นน่ะ
Yeah, he still continued to do his job at Telegram, but they switch around, rotate. Sometimes some go out to the out of the to the field. Some come back, changing, rotating. During 68 to 75.
Did you go out into the field or were you always in Longchen?
Russia, the couple trong mông thế nào, couple
หมู่ยังหมู่
trong tàu thế.
ยังจมูกตามุลิเถอะ
Ờ,
จมูกแท้ตลอดแท้จมูกแท้ตลอดนั่นเลยอยู่โซ่อยู่จมูกที่ตลอดตอนที่อยู่ไล่เนาะต่อตัวตอนนี้ต่อถอนหาต่อจิมตลอดอยู่ไล่ดิน่าสลม
he said, yeah, back and forth. Go back and come back and go again and go back and forth during 68 to 75.
Okay. Now, when you were at Padong, you didn't have families there. When you went to Longchen, could you bring your family there?
Russia, cứ cầm nhát cho long tiếng là cấp quan điểm nhiều phần các nhát cho ta.
กูที่หมู่เก่าเจงรามต่อโจยีนตะการรอที่จะอีเทจปดจ้าเจ้ากูมาอยู่ปะเนี่ยดอกยาลูกแจ้งซื้อ
Oh, he married 1970 after he training. So he come back to Longchen. He met his wife at Longchen in 1970.
And you got married, and how many kids did you have there?
Có một vị sư minh yuan chuẩn cho các bạn nhé.
ถอนกูเทจปด
You mean
จ้า
now
เจ้า
or by the time we Longchen?
In Longchen.
Russia.
ช่วงเช้าแล้วกูมาไปตัว
Thảo cứ có chỉnh nhau Longchen là có một bếp rồi là. Okay. Three kids.
Who took care of your wife and your 3 kids at Longchen when you had to go out in the field?
Nên là Thảo cứ có tàu mua hậu được cho sáng đầu là lên từ say các bạn mình nhiều.
cho trên cho cũng nè theo cái gì nhá nè chỉ nhá tuần đấy
Yeah, the family stay with a parent. Stay with his parent.
Your parents were in Longchen also?
Cái này có chỉ của nhau Longchen.
ngon
Yeah.
When you were at Padong, you lived out in the field in the jungle. At Longchen, it was more like a huge headquarters in a village. Did you live in a house?
Hai tên nhá cho bắt đầu mà phao thì nhá tỏ rong mê theo tỏ hai rong là để chi giờ còn nhá hồ Longchen nó rong đi cứ Longchen vậy luôn rong lo theo rong lo đã thì trong hành của giòn
giờ giờ vô trồng lo
huge
lu
city
lu vì theo lu hết có đỡ đó nè phần ba bỏ theo
So
dễ
you could have houses and you lived like you were living in a village.
có của mua ba một chế nhá rồi Longchen thế
mua
là
cái
có một
chỉ
chế rong đi cứ
mua chế đó chỉ chếไปเพจวางกันว่าลงในเดือดเสียไปจันเนี่ยในเดือด
Okay. Yes, he had a house, but the natural house building by the bamboo and by the maybe you call it rack.
Rack?
Yeah, like a
Like
grass, but they can
right bamboo
Thatch?
sack
I don't
We
know.
don't
But it's like grass on the
Yeah,
roof.
yeah right that
It is long the grass, but the longer covered by that grass and make out of bamboo.
Who was your commanding officer at Longchen?
Lên từ cái xây chùa có tuần này nhá, Longchen.
này nhá long chén thì bây giờ khởi nồng nâng chữ thọ khởi nồng long thọ
Long Thao. He's the commander. The name is Long Thao.
khởi nồng long thọ
Colonel Long Thao.
Long?
BL. Yeah, BBLONG. Long Thao.
T-A-O?
yeah THAO
Yeah.
T-H-A-O?
THAO
How long did you stay in Longchen? Until 1975?
cái nhau hàng đêm là nhau Trung Quốcคือสู่ชาติชีแล้ว
nhớ Trung Quốc đó là cái gì mà ở đây qua à giờ chia tổ nhớ đó nó như là mù ta hay trong đó là mù đó là như mù lên đó liền nè
Okay, yes, but like I mentioned earlier, that back and forth to the field and back to Longchain until 1975.
Where were you when you heard that the Americans were pulling out of Laos?
Thao từ nó có nói hạt America ở thị tu trò chẳng là tê trong từ là thao từ.
cú bao giờ chỉ trong cái bộ gia chủ trí là cái thầu cái đó bao giờ chỉ là cái bên họเข้าhọ cái mấy cái thiên đàng người là cái tên nè bây giờ mấy cái thiên đàng cái bên cũ bao giờ đến cái bên lúc tết chấm lo cho nó trong cái gì ở cái lọ trong bên lúc tết chấm lo cái trong đó nè
He heard the news from a radio 1974, between 1974 to 75. And at first, he heard the news from radio that American going to withdraw from South Vietnam as soon as possible. So that's stopping and fighting the war.
Were you at Long Tien when the Americans pulled out of Long Tien with Thao?
Lúc xưa cứ nó mà báo chí ha mấy cái chỉ ra của Long Chen kan của nhau không ha
của nhau họ thế
Yes, he is at Long Chen.
Do you remember what that was like? Can you describe what it was like when Thao and the Americans were leaving?
Có bộ cả bia ít không chỉ cho nên Long hạt thầu và bỏ theo mấy cái yếu chỉ tạo của Long Chen trong đi chẳng.
cú biết mẹ这里头搞不饱的古堡妹嘛，没干出来的那些没干么，一路鸟红，头一只梦老母的太得，一路鸟红是一般能够背，他这梦是真是喽，是真嘛是住那边到背后这。大个弄了套的，是白家的就不干的个，知道的，来一下的白都不练，一下的都伢了可么呢一下的白家忙嘛，我家嘛一样的干吃路了嘛，多保家了一几cái lừa chụp vào mình đó bộ trái chữ lừa nằm chế lấy toàn chế bé chỉ tao chế cơ bé mua cái cú trẻ cú phở kia hạ rong to lắm nè.
Oh, okay. Yeah, soon after that, he didn't know, but that he saw people, German power used the American CIA used the C-123, airplane C-123 aircraft to carry lot of more people to Thailand. Yeah, to Thailand. In shadow back and forth for 3 days. In stop the shadow. So finally, there's no way to go to Thailand, no way to go to move to Thailand. So they start to reorganize the troop. Back to the village, back to the jungle. Reorganize the troop and get some weapons to protect themselves. Because they heard and they had a rumor from the other sides that they're going to kill all soldiers who work for American people. So they back to the jungle and reorganize and get some weapons out and to protect, to defend the community.
Why did you not get to go to Thailand with Thao?
因为这样这个只当主任可能把我们 Taipei.
要么我家到梦啊是住正多日红的这个是住是正新年这个有家正到有么半年没有我能老这点一家的正是道理了对。
He said, and very difficult to get in the airplane because he have parents old that cannot get into the airplane. So a lot of people jump into the airplane, not an organization, individual jump out to it, come to that talent. So he think parents also cannot do that.
So they basically, it was just a free-for-all, people were jumping into the airplane to get to Thailand?
หมายความว่า那就查到说在这里做了跳，那
就真的，真到街到哈，真到包尿了啦，要住这么累的呢。
Yeah, he said it's a free, for everybody to jump in that, and who's stronger, who have chance, so can get in, but who not strong, weak, so cannot jump in that, so fall back.
When he stayed behind them with the others that stayed there, and they reorganized, did they stay at Longchan or did they immediately leave and go back out to the jungle?
頭佢咩就開始 show 多隻多爬的那幾樣可能頂了那這裡欠咗很重。
那知道好多好今年呢啦，还差多有多要找那边也贴的。贴木的拍靠也贴木也都方便是呢，也是多的。
Yeah, like he cannot stay in the long chain anymore because the enemy or enemy troop will show up and long chain as soon as possible, and they have to leave from long chain immediately to Pakao to the mountain they call Ubia.
So they left immediately and went to Touchao?
They make it to Shadi to Shadi.
那么多考就报考嘛，我的东方面呢，不要的，他报考就开就东多的。
Yeah, he leave immediately to Pakao. Well, because the Pakao is closer to the mountain called Puvia.
Did he then stay at Touchao with his family and live there?
ก็不到少了，不到鸟就Pakao，到他婆婆。
比较khó khăn là nhớ phát到ở bên những nông thôn mà, thế thì mà những nhớ chỉ tồn để tạo cả đời gì kia gì trong sinh hoạt.
还ก็ครอบครัวก็แต่
để cho khó khăn là nhớ到ở bên những nông里để phát khảo tới gì, như là cái tuổi thọ long chơi gì cơ, kia gì trong là sự.
Yeah, they stopped in Pakao for about a week with the family. So they very scared. They were chasing, they are catching. So they stay in Macau with family 1 week. So they have to leave from Macau to Phuket immediately with the family. Okay, with the family.
How long did you stay at Mount Pubia?
Oh, Phuket mà, anh thấy nè.
Hôm nay cóประมาณ
thế chứ bây giờ就记得一叫一呢是嘛？这伢这的那么一伢怎么跳嘞？我看懂了没呢？伢考许多，伢考不离了一种许多，这因跳一路呢不变呢，那北方这但是那种说家伢不变，这还那个。
Yeah, he said since 1975 to 1968, live in Phuket.
一叫一啊
88 lah. Oh, no, not 68, 88. Okay.
1975 to 1988?
88.
Lived in Pubia?
Lived in Phuket. But not living only the same place. Had to move around the Phuket like Indian. Like an Indian people. So but cannot stay in one place. So because the enemy do searching, so cannot live only one place. Had to move around the Phuket.
So he moved around from place to place in Pubia. Were you afraid that the communists would find you
個本差就就嚟蹲赤膊啫。
從到這人才，被開了不別的，被麼被了考不滿，這被開幕要麼幹的，這要來去多的開幕嘛，就到了嘛沒亂，這麼幹這。thế tôi kể về khi làm một thái tê nên là chúng lúc bắt mày nào xem mà
The reason they stay a little longer in Kubia because they had a plan. Yeah, they had a plan in mind that if the enemy fight out there, they have to be surround. They have to be surrounding the surround or what is it? Surround or whatever. I forget the American search. No, that mean I forget that word. Like a
nhông
yeah. They had plan in mind two plans. One, when enemy find out them, they have to be nice and go back with allow people, the community people. Second plan, if the enemy cannot fight them, they're looking for a play or looking for a way or some idea to try to escape to Thailand because they're waiting in that to waiting for which ones come first.
Okay, so they had two plans.
Yeah, two plans.
One was if the communists caught them, they would be nice to them and they would go back and be put in one of those re-education camps.
Yeah.
Or if they had the chance, they would escape to Thailand.
Yes.
Did you know that if the communists took you, they would mistreat you because you had worked with the Americans?
Do lớn để tao nên thế lớn để tao có là cho tao có mù nó có bữa sáng lớn của châu chỉ được con cho họ có học ở America.
Cú ra hạt giờ lớn để tao cú mà giờ bao mà chọn tu cho sư chỉ để cho một cái gì cú để tu để cú đi để tu thôi là họ cho ở này xài đi bây giờ từ đi bây giờ chỉ mua chơi cho các lão đi ta luôn tuồng.
He said if the enemy captured him, he felt or he heard a lot of people stab, especially for the regular soldier. So it's okay too, but especially for radio men, and they will torch and they will kill all the radio men.
So he must have been really worried.
Yeah, very worried. Yeah, he was worried.
Did he, so what happened in 1988? How did he get out?
Bây giờ vì lý do ở thầu cái tờ tôi như lý do nó thay tờ tôi này thì nó Lucian.
Còn đó giờ mua cho thìn khao lọ thái tê lọ chị thọ lơ chị đó là tua.
By that time, and he had a chain and a good chain, so he found a team, a secret team from Thailand, come back to and search the people. So he met with that team. So he come with that team. He came to escape to Thailand with that team.
How did you get out? Exactly, how did they get you out of Phuket to Thailand?
Anh đã bây giờ họ cứ lấy cho các tàu tuồng một chỗ thay thế các
lại lại những cho dù mong nhà chị cũng cho nhẹ là cũng nhanh đen là chị cho nên lúc đó cũng rồi nên chị cũng muốn đi chợ đi cho ra muốn ta tê cho chị cũng cho hai trăm tư nhỏ chị tụi tư to là chị li tụi tư chia hay một tờ tay tê là mù là mấy cái tê hay để cho cô cho nông
Yeah, by that time he decided to escape, decided to move with that team, and by the chain. Some might survive, but some might get killed or whatever. But he have been in Phobia for a long time and cannot live anymore, so he decided to move with the team. He told his family to move, so cannot stay anymore in the Phobia.
And how did they get out? Did they fly out? Did they
They
go by boat?
they mê lòng cái tơ là chơi
Cái tơ chứ à?
dạ by
Cũng có
walking.
tờ
You can't walk across the Mekong River.
ก็ไม่หาเดลิจาที่พ่อจะตื่นเต้น
là đây chỉ chống là oli nó chỉ mà đó lo gì cả đó tu làm gì chỉ cầnวันhọอยู่chỉอยู่lúa cho chaอยู่cha ở tù tất cả mà
They
trong
try to
chạy trong
make
có
river by
qua
the bamboo. By the bamboo, they cut the bamboo, make a raft. Yeah, make a raft. But the adult who are older, they skate by themselves and they use the bamboo to swim by themselves. But for the children, he make a little special raft and put the children on that. He the one to helping the children.
So you made rafts out of bamboo to get across the river?
Yeah.
How many in your whole family got across the Mekong on those rafts? How many kids did you have by then?
More picture link cái chuyện này cứ
ô
đây đó.
thôi cái năng được cũng như là xa lăng mình nhỏ nó nè thì này chỉ ta chỉ của bên này là nhưng这轮这些我说这和古了这些就都拉了这些都才拉了这上这些那些我被去办
Okay, by that time he have 9 person in his family, 7 children, include he and his wife. But 4 of them then can swimming and they can crop by themselves. And the rest of the kid, he don't want to helping the young kid.
Did his parents also come?
Lúc xưa có những cái tí bốn trăm
ตัวตากูตีเท่าคุณเนี่ยเลย ตัวตาเป็นต้องให้ที่ให้กูที่ต้องให้ขันแต่เนี่ยเป็นต้องเจไปส่ง一切就不一条去呢เจไป为了เนี่ยเราไม่เจของเดโซเวียตนะรู้เนี่ยของตัวรู้bị tàu helicopter bị tàu loตัวเจอย่าตัวจะไปรอเจrồi lấy lại cho nó cháu chị, thầu nó chị bông cái cho chị cho chemical sơ đắt thu này chị rớp cá chị cho lâu chị tôi cuốn nhà thế cuốn chỉ lo tôi ta liền chỉ cho chi
Oh, he forgot to tell you one more thing. At the Phobia, during the time at the Phobia 1985, his parents died by the Soviet chemical dropping. They call urine. So they sick. They had a lot of people had diarrhea and a lot of people sick. And his parents died at that time all.
In 1985?
In 1985.
The communists dropped it?
Yeah, the communist Soviet dropping a chemical they call urine.
Why did they drop it? To hurt the people on purpose?
And vì lý do có sao tập với thằng của học bỏ là học trò cái đó để tua lắm.
cái bữa nhỏ ít lứa mình ra chị là chỉ nó lấy mà những chú bếp không lấy sa đạp cả bếp không tuần là bây giờ lấy để cho pha nó chỉ lấy những bỏ họ thì chỉ lấy những sa cho cả ô máu anh ra cả tuột tạm một đi nó nè nó là nè.
Yeah, the communists they had a purpose to drop in the chemical to kill all the Hmong people because they know the Hmong people work for the CIA for America and they hate a lot, and they know the Hmong people where the Hmong people live, they drop the chemical to kill all the Hmong people, even adult or children or all the people.
When you got to Thailand, where did you go?
หลังจากก็จะไทยเตเลยในก็ให้ผมดูแต่ก็วันนั้นจี
cú về cú yên ra thái tây về cú yên mấy decision hay để cú lâu rồi là chỉ xem một cần đó nhung sẽ biết một cần đó ABC rồi họ nó thái tây nó họ xuân mà mỗi cho ông cần tôi ba khen đó nó nhà này biết khen đó anh ký khen đó khen ô khen nào để cú yên chỉ chăm mà để lâu là nhau muốn đặt tây mình yêu cần đó ABC thế chỉ chết để nó từ mua đâu đó từ trong chế mua mấy cái thứ chỉ nhớ thế thế đi.
After he got into the Thailand refugee camp, he knew that he would come to United States. So at first he started beginning to learn English by ABC. Whatever old or young, but try to learn English very hard by start with ABC right away. So prepare to waiting for change to settle to United States.
How long were you in the refugee camp in Thailand?
Cái nhỏ thì nó xuống tới bây giờ hoàn tế lên
Pro chồng
4 years.
What was your life like for those 4 years in the refugee camp?
Cái lúc này nhau hồ xuống trong đi cha, có chọn nhiều là có tôi trong này có
tôi năng nhà họ xuân mà ở đây cũng hay cho nhẹ rồi mà nó là phải chỉ mà chơi cho tạo tồn đồ để tạo chỉ tạo cho nhẹ nhưng cho nhẹ xem được hàng đó chỉ họ khai ra mình gì để thầu nhau đi hay giống là lao động đó khai ra mình gì để nhà chỉตัวđể xem bộ tàu một mấy cái thứ nhưng cho nhẹ xem được cái gì我知道了，只了，一包太了太，一被海路都有嘛，现在有接这边海路的，真的。
He had a very difficult time in the camp and very struggle to a lot of things, but he thought in the refugee camp is better than Pubia or better in the jungle, and so not have enough food, but that they can survive in the camp to waiting for a change to come to the United States.
Did you have to do work in the camp, or was it just every day hanging around?
Thầu cứ lúc cái nhau không có ô hậu lử lùi cả dùng hậu lử luồng là nhót lấy lịch sử là có một cả giữa nghe là một ô nó thế là
Ừ. Của nhà họ xem chế của cần đó là theo của cần đó mong thì của họ bọn đó mong là theo chế và đó ở trong đó chế là họ sẽ của bọn đó mong bọn đó chế của đó sẽ chế là họ chú của một ba lỡ kia đó bọn này mình mong ở chỉ bọn đó mong của họ cỡ ăn kỹ thế của họ một thì là có một ba kia đó mong rồi cho mong ở chỉ bọn đó là thế này.
Most of the time he keep studying English, and he know about the Hmong and alphabet and the Hmong language very well. And finally, the leader in the camp, he assigned him to helping the Hmong lady or the Hmong kid who want to learn Hmong. And he taught about Hmong to the people in the camp too.
So he taught while he was in the camp.
Yeah.
After his 4 years at the refugee camp, how did he get to the United States?
หลังจากที่ปลอกชงตัวนี้ก่อนชี้นึงที่เราอยากบริจาคถ้าก็ทะเลตัวเต่าถ้าอยากบริจาคจะตัวเต่า
ตัวจะเราจะเนี่ยตัวจะสนุนเนี่ยเจมาเล่นเทียเจมันเทียตัวกูปนเนี่ยเอาตัวด้านเราตัวเนี้ยไปเมริสันวิสคอนซินน่ะตอนเทียตัวนั้นว่าเจมาส่งตัวที่น่าเจถอดเราจะป้ามันเนี่ยเราจะไปมาสปอนเซอร์ต่อก็นี่ตัวเราน่าเจเทลี
比文的
比我能大一点了，什么这大的多加点son，这多的 medicine 比很真，也古代了，我的那古木的那，米子里的大。
After 4 years, they look at anyway, try to settle United States, but have no change in no way. But finally, they wrote a letter to his wife and a brother. His wife have two brothers in living in medicine, and told him to be a sponsor or fill application or do the paperwork to sponsor his family.
So his wife's two
Yeah.
brothers lived in Madison, Wisconsin,
Yeah.
and they sponsored your entire family.
嗯，
So when you came, you went to Madison, Wisconsin.
头家你好多找个不要冇當啦。
多大嘛，多加的才得多大。
When he first came and directly to his wife brother in Wisconsin.
When you first got here, what was the adjustment like to American life?
頭我個都做出車都個沙哩咋，叫我寧有咪家啲個沙哩咋。
头多大嘛？啊，古别的，古鸟的son嘛，古我的都拉，你猜了，古拉了天，但结果那老有点几步要都了有半年的，但猜了有的多在这前面干跟到这嘛那，你那就古人还咱们用一几原来就多在前面干那就多。古啥还得多在这前面干，古的怎么我干古的老了啦。然后多在这前那里，这些古的老了啦，古知道个，但几乎是照顾下冷呢，多在前那个大家大了，古家没多呢没多的，这到真的古东北，我讨了怎样？
He had a plan to come to the United States before he still in the camp refugee. He told he and our children that do not marry, do not marry, and either the daughter or the son do not marry and get a chance to come to the United States first. So then after got to the United States, so they had a chance to go to school. School is the best way to make a life living. So after got to the United States, he told his family or his daughter or his son keep going to school and study hard.
Did you go back to school yourself when you got to the United States?
我got to King 呢個部門教下書包。
古个呢，古是就到些个老了啦，古一个古多个他这样的古还得这么多在前面干到二位这古人准备个到老个哇，老赖么我好路了，就这古天到知道个，这古到些里呢，古天我好路，古么啥怕好路了，古么到古那里天，我好路了，这我到古真的。
Yes, he had a plan for English at refugee camp already, and he came to the United States. He very happy as he said he should have a good chance that he going to school, keep going to school, study English very hard. So until they let him go to looking for a job, and after he got a job, so he know how to speak English. He know how to help himself in the job, so we're happy that.
What did you do for work when you got to the United States?
Come, what will you achieve?
Cô cô lô họ lử thì để cô mua con nào 我的把的婆呢呐，
Oh, okay.
这我的印度的国哈姆，我录company 我的 label， 老那一这样 label 了，
Oh, okay.
这大家 September 11的，好了，是老大就过在帮好了。
He got his first job. He making the pool, the pool equipment, the one play pool.
Pool stick，
Pool sticks like
pool
billiards.
yeah，
Yeah,
Making
he-
pool sticks.
The
Yeah.
pool stick. And second job, also
Or label.
second job, he worked with a company who did the label job was
Making
like a
labels.
sticker,
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
sticker, a label. Until September 11, so they only a little out.
Lay off mà cho khó họ lựa slow thì dù cho lâu rồi thì là cho
7-11 they
After 9/11,
after 9/11
he got laid off from that company.
the cú chia quý là chưa cú
because the job and slowed down. So,
cú chia dù là cho lay off cái trong tủ nên
but not lay off not only him, but a lot of his friends in the company. They lay off a lot of employees.
Because the job slowed down. Now, he was still living in Wisconsin at that time?
Lúc xưa người có bệnh nhân tao.
nhá Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Okay, then I know you moved. Where did you go after you left Wisconsin?
Nếu bao thì có chỉ nhau tao là
Thì cú
thầu tư có hắn chỉ tao mua.
học phát cha của mua cho là Missouri.
He moved 2007. He moved to Missouri.
So in 2007, you moved to Missouri. And that's where you live now?
Yeah.
Tao khó cho người có tất cả nhau lắm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did your whole family move with you?
Các trên này cũng đã có một tang.
Chỉ một ta nữa cú số auto tu nó về medicine na Wisconsin na. Rồi họ auto đó là mua vào một chế là mua họ lựa dùng để cái liền nhau về.
He still have to stand in medicine right now because they had a job and they have a family and they have a good job, a good family, a good house where they so he still has to stand in medicine.
Do you still stay in touch with any of your friends or family in Laos?
Các bộ khởi tít to các cháu này là cái tiếng chán nhất trong loạt tết chứ. Ta là do họ chuyện nó là do.
Thì tôi cũng trong áp phát cha cũng ít lử.
He went back to Laos 2007 one time.
Did you visit friends and family?
Cũng sai cái phong điều đó.
Cũng một sai cũng cho bé trong mọi nó thì.
He still have 3 sisters-in-law. He visited his sister.
Do you stay in touch with them?
Các bọn chi là thế, các bọn bỏ là thế, bọn tóm là hai lúc chứ.
Chi thế.
Yes.
Chi đó chỉ.
When you went back to Laos, were you afraid at all that the communists would capture you, or you don't worry about that now?
Lúc xưa họ cứ nó có một cái bọn trai là nó không nên thế có là các chuyện trai là do nhà này thế tất nhiên là có sai trái.
Cũng những trai thế ta chỉ cái mũ thì nó mà ý mà dù có là sản xuất là dù sản xuất là chỉ dùng mũ mua cái mình chỉ cái cái nó cái hậu cái hai lù dù dù tiếng Pháp mình chỉ lên nó thế thôi.
Yeah, he said, yeah, he's still afraid, but not too afraid because he was a American citizen already, and also another thing he knew, he not believe the company will do something out or will poison it. So when he went out there, he have to be careful about the food or about the system. He to be careful by himself. So by that time, it's okay for him.
So it's safe. So would you think now it's safe for all Laotians to go back?
Có sao thì nó biết cho nên mong lo tất cả một bộ bất hại của mua chỉ là chúng lại.
Hỗ trợ thì hỗ trợ trong này lúc tết chúng ta cũng hỗ trợ nông hỗ trợ chừng chỉ bắt phải đưa nông lo lúc có thì nó thanh sum bát sum phòn nó đưa tụ chiều đó chỉ để thốn được cái tết chân nó tao muốn nó thứ thứ bao là tan thứ chỉ tao bây giờ họ bỏ bé tụm lại nhá mình để ta mua là thứ bao là theo ở đây trong này nó chơi ở chỉ cho xem mua.
He said, talk about the environment in Laos. The situation looked like quiet. It looked like settled down, good, not be afraid. But he doesn't know for sure. He's still kind very afraid because last December have an Lao people, one a good man Lao or people named Sombat Sompon and missing. They work for, they not do anything, but they're missing in Laos, so nobody know what he disappeared. Until now, nobody know about the truth, but how missing and how disappeared. And also, he heard about have three relations from Minnesota, went back to Laos in December too, and finally all they disappear. They don't know where to go. They cannot follow up and them too. So, well, think about the missing people. So he kind of very scared, but not safe for and allow people to go back.
When did you become an American citizen?
So từ cậu sẵn sàng America rồi.
我在那个中好跑，
2002.
Now that you are in the United States, what do you do in your own family and in your own community to keep the Hmong culture and lifestyle alive? Do you teach your children about the Hmong culture?
Je n'en connais pas American tên là có bùm start khi cái tên bình nhưỡng là có bắt đầu khi cái tên mình tu bình nhưỡng là tên quan bình nhưỡng ai giờ yêu lý cha thế đi và nó chỉnh tàu khi không phát triển là sẽ chỉnh tàu pi tàu cái cái chạy mong to mong là có bộ khi tên nó cho các family thế là cái khi
我嘛我用开我家娘嘛我开这个但是呢我嘛能够不做生子，我觉得呢我用还个叫多人才这个说的开米多米娘，这个来拉嘛好来要海路没个海路给嘛了木到 school 嘛好的今年到哪里呢？mà có lo cho chế mà yếu chủ hai lô mong khéo mong giờ từ từ chỉ bao ấy mà bé mà ít chập mong ấy lo mình nhỏ lo chế lo chừng hai lô mình cả hai lô ăn kỹ rồi là tựว่าbé mình nhỏ chỉ bao khả năng mà rồi yếu cái là khả năng chỉ bé hai nó đó cả thọ bé to đó cái thái tế đó khu kia đó cái dân trong yếu sản nè
Yeah, he said he teach his family about the language and the culture. Right now, he had 24 grandkids, and he always taught the grandkids or his family that do not forget the Hmong language. So keep saying the Hmong language every day. So we know the Hmong language. It continues talking in Hmong. How about the English? So he said, don't worry about the English. The English go to school. They had learn in school every day. So no matter what, they will speak English right away. But do not forget the Hmong language. If people cannot speak the most language, that means they're going to forget the Hmong culture or Hmong language. So possible, talk in Hmong and try hard in Hmong. And also, he remember one time he still living in Thai. The Thai mentioned that you go in Mecca, do not forget your language. Keep going to talk your language. So he remember the Thai word that. So he keep talking, teaching, or he keep telling his family to speak Hmong language every day.
When your generation is dead and gone, do you think that the generations of Hmong that are your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren, do you think that they will continue to keep the history of the Hmong people and the culture of the Hmong people alive?
ก็สาเหตุเป็นผ่านเหล่าเป็นปลอดตาเสียตาละวันนี้ก็ภาษาเหตุก็จะมีอยู่แล้วก็จะซิงเล่งซิงจือตัวหมู่เราปวดจิงย้อนยอดทั้งปีจะมองเราปวดจิงยอดทั้งปีนะที่ของพระเป็นนี่เราเป็นเกจใจรักกว่าแต่เราเขาสาดิจ้ะ
Cô xa là hết địa nhưng mà chỉ cho bị hết địa ta chỉ nó chỉ hay ra tận đây mà gì ta chỉ nó vẫn có plot tu mà tận đây nào chúng ta bây giờ nó ta mà có tu nào mà chỉ cho ta chỉ có tu để ở nhà chừng ăn cho thế rồi nó bây giờ lúc cái nó có thể
Oh, he think about himself, so it will be 50-50, half to half. Some might forget. For example, he had 24 kids. 12 might forget and not talking anymore or forget more culture. But maybe 12 still not continue to use it to talk. He think about 50-50.
Touchao, what does your military experience, how did that affect your life?
ก็สาเดียวเนาะรู้สึกก็อดจอเนาะผมมันตียา我这个路内牛这个些，那叫我那吃好个路内那叫我这个路内吃用那叫在年那叫effect 那嘛，没看这个都包的那路的 effect 那嘛，我就路内吃用了，我就路内在年了，容易加添。
cô hỗ trợ cô những tụ đồ lâu là cái tụ lâu cô bảo thì vô bao nhiêu lúc năng ở tụ tròn là chỉ một con số đó bao nhiêu nhá cô thấy chỉ vô đi là trong khoa cô mà ở cả có một training operator radio này cô không mà khả năng chơi tất cả mà tụ bảo cô tất cả là nhau luôn tiếng thế đấy cô thấy thì chả nào mà chơi được vô bao nhiêu là giờ tao một con số đó bao nhiêu cô thấy mà vô trong đó ha tất cả thầu tôi nghĩ là trong đó chỉ cô chỉ vô chỉ cô sắp bảo luôn năng đấy chỉ một con số đó chỉ cái liềnอยู่ที่ตัวว่าเลยแต่สิบกูตัวนั่งนั่นมากูยัง一直还得กู到我还得了嘛接我啊别种要开导的到年的这底下我没晒东西的กู没吃人的
He said during the fighting time or the war time, it kind difficult affect his life. For how about the set out the family or getting wife, so he think about difficult for himself. He married very old. He said he married at the time he very old because he knew he married, but no chance or no time to stay with family. No chance, no time to stay with wife or children. So he married when he very old. But he get a chance after he training a telegram and he had chance to stay in the headquarters. So he think about he very old, he said to marry. So he met with his wife. He married that time. That time he after training a telegram.
Well, Touchao, I'd like to thank you for your service and thank you for sharing your story with me today. Is there anything that we forgot about his military?
เดี๋ยวว่าเจ้าจะคือก็เคกติชอสื่อแล้วก็ตุลุปบาคือเทตัวกงทาเก3,000นว่าเจ้าตุการต่อแห่งเทียนอกจากนั้นเราก็สาเหตุนี่ทุกถาชีถาชัวร์ที่ให้แต่ที่ชัวร์เราช่วยคำจีเราเราจะเราก็ภาษาจีนจีแล้วก็ภาษาชัวที่อยากภาษาไทยตัวหนึ่งเทีย
กูจะดีขาตัวกูมาเรื่องขาถอเป็นมันเทรนนิ่งเดลพันบางนะมากูทันจีขันนะจะเป็นมันเทรนนิ่งแต่มาเป็นมันลูกเป็นลูกห้องเรียนแต่มาเป็นต่อสต้องมาเพิ่นต่อมันต้องมองเสด็จเพิ่นขอเย็นต่อที่แต่เย็นต่อนะไม่อยากเย่เนี่ยละตัวnó thì bây giờ khai được là nó đồ tránh như hồng lộ pháp bản thế thì thầu lúa thì đồ trong ít cho bộ trò trò gì đó bây giờ nhau đó thì nhớ là hoàn thành nhớ là tuần đầu nhớ là đầu bây hoàn thành mà đầu bao chun nè tôi về ห้องเสียงที่การพระอีเก็บไปตัวรอเบเบกับเปล่าตัวเขาใช้ยี่ห้องเกียจะตัวเปเดี๋ยวตัวเปมาเปล่าตัวนี้ล่ะจะเปตัวเปกับเปได้อากาศอีตัวกับตัดเปตัวเปบ้านเรากูละที่เราตัวเท่กูละจ้าแล้วกูมาอีสานกูเท่ตอนเด้อ
Oh.
กูถ้าว่ากูย่อด่ากูเดินกูละจ้าแล้วกูไม่ชัดได้ลูกสั้นต่อก้าต่อสั้นแล้วสั้นต่อก้าส่งต่อก้าที่ต่อก้าหล่อที่ต่อลูกสั้นสันติพันธ์นั่นแหละเลยมาซะเขาเสด็จจะไปเอาลูกเจนกันเด้อลูกเจปืนเอาเจกันเด้อนะเจไม่กินนะเจมาก็สิมาลงจะเจปืนมาปืนบ่ระเบียบที่ไหนไปพอเจพอมามื่อเกิดเจแล้วเมื่อพอโซเจตัวกายได้พอแล้วเนี่ยที่เจด่านอเจลูกเจน้ำหมอโอปอนอเจแต่เจสอนเจเนี่ยสอบปอบเราเนี่ยต่อเจเคยจะขอต้มบุคคลนะครับเพราะนั้นไปเจแต่เขาด่านอเจอีกคนเสียเจไม่จะเนี่ยว่าเราจะเนี่ยว่าเจอว่ากัจจีเจเนี่ยร่างกายตัวตอนเดิมเสื้อ
Okay.
เจ็บ
คุณนุก็จะเท่าคือหลังจากนั้นจะเริ่มมกันเจสันโอเค
ร้อยถูก
ไม่ถูก
ถ้าเรามาร้อยตีเนี่ยร้อยถูกเจวัตกรรมมาได้ร้อยเจ เจคันตะกุมาเปีย
to during the time he go training at Luhongban and he got attacked by enemy at that time because they used the radio or telegram the telegram noise make a sound titi tata so that they don't have the good building like a United States or not good building so the noise the sound can go outside and the enemy can hear the noise over the telegram so and then come to attack him at the Luhongban very heavy attack so
เข้าตัว
so they make a 4 direction or 4 point to come attack to the camp so very bad so after that he survived or his friends survived something and
กุมาเปียต่อนะ
after that so he got promotion to lieutenant second lieutenant to lieutenant by that time after he training or after he got a heavy attack in Luhongban 1968
Where, I can't understand you're not saying Prabang?
Luhongban right Luhongban
Spell it.
Luang Prabang
Oh, Luang?
yeah
Luang?
Luang yeah Luang
Okay,
Prabang
got it,
yeah
got
Luang
it,
Prabang
got it.
yeah
Okay,
Luang Prabang
wonderful. Okay, well, thank
เจ
you.
เจทนเด้อนี่ล่ะตัวเขาใช้ยี่ห้องพอมาว่ากองทัพลงว่าพอโรงเรียนเล่นได้ตัวเจกองทัพตัวบนจีเจถนนึงก็ตัวจีนจะประกาศแค่เล่นได้ตัวไปถึงนี่ล่ะเจแล้วใช่เจนี่ล่ะนอชั่วตัวน่ะนี่ล่ะแล้วจะดักกงมาแล้วเจอชั่วเขานอนนะพี่อ๋อเจแล้วใช่เจจะดักกงมาใส่เลยอีกขอนอแล้วเดี๋ยวใส่ถอยใส่ขอนอจะไปจะเด็ดตัวแล้วว่านอจะจิตตัวนอจะต่อการจะแล้วใส่ขอนอจะไปจะเด็ดตัวจะแล้วนอจะในตัวนั่นแหละจะนอชั่วตัวชั่วตัวแต่ใช้ยี่ห้อหาไปจ่อจะโรงเรียนกูให้นะเขาจะพูดนะจะ
Just stop and also during that time it kind of interesting because the enemy attack his camp attack the airport and they shoot the parachute make a light to make a bright light so they see the enemy so they catch three enemy but it kind of thinks that the enemy soldier and they have some kind of secret or some kind of medical or some kind to be helping them because every soldier or every communist soldier or enemy soldier they have special medicine they carry in the shirt they carry in their shirt maybe to the collar or maybe to the hand they saw in that because they don't want to share information to anybody. And when they catch it, they buy it, they eat it, and die. They die before sharing information.
Did the three enemy they captured kill
they-
themselves?
Yeah, three of them, and they cannot take the our the safety and soldier not looking closely, so they kill them. One get killed by himself, and two not.
So one, he poisoned himself.
Yeah. One
Oh.
They all have poison so
Yeah.
that they can kill themselves rather
Yeah.
than give out information.
Yeah.
That is the kind to
That-
share with you. So it kind of interesting when
That is a Vietnamese soldier. They say Dak Kong.
they call
They have grow only like this. No more long. Sát là nó long从超车，然后去路这来，有long 多呢，是来干多。
And the enemy and or Vietnam special troop they call Dakong. I don't know what they call Dakong, but they wear short pants, not long pants. They wear short pants.
And that was a special troop of enemy that
Yeah.
wore short pants.
Yeah, short
They
pants.
were North Vietnamese.
No Vietnamese. 这人家就跑阿干嘛？这叫阿干老出口是呢。
And also they carry a very special gun to protect them to use right way.
这还等到嘛别找嘛多之后多北京那些跑道同把阿公大道走上那为了这跑道这，我拿线嘛拿地车拿路地道路车道，这人把身早给开啊，这是跑的那为了这跑道这早的开大个道那开，不要路这用那这开。 trong đó họ nói chứ tụi nhớ là nhỏ đạo sa la can đàn à tí cha ta cảตัวđộc của sao nào dễ mà tới chiều họ cú luôn nó thì họ cú luôn sẽ đấy thì một thứ gì hàng ngày bây giờ thì cũng vô lo được thì cũng cái tiền đó tao thì chưa bỏ thì cũng tao thôi thì cũng tao đó là cha nó chỉ nó tí bể đó chỉ có chế để ta chịu được kiện học đó lại ta chỉ muốn về ở tuần này hiệnตัวkiaเขากูจะmuốn đóกูchỉ bảo họ để ở tuần này hiện đó kia muốn vấn đềกูlà như là tôi nhớ sát đổ là cái như là xóa cả tôi tao học tê rồi chứ tôi là bây giờกูtôi lo là cái mà tôi muốn là chảกูmà giờ muốn nó kia muốn choกูkia muốn gạo gì như làตัวกูgì tôiตัวrồi đó để ta chịu nếu họ bảoกูmuốn ta đó nó sốตัวgì Wichita.
Okay. And also, you want to add that he really lucky at that time the attack that night. Usually, the training student they wear the short and for uniform for exercise early morning, but they got by attack. So he ran out to the outside. He said he doesn't know for sure. And the enemy shoot him in the bunker in the outside of the building, but he fall down to the left side and do not hit him. But after that, when daytime come out early in the morning, daytime come out, they go searching. He saw two friends. Die in that, but not hit him. But he not sure that. They got killed before him go outside, or maybe they got killed after he fall down. So he kind of very scared, and he thought maybe he very lucky time by that time. Otherwise, he might get killed by that time.
The top attack ke project trouble cool sana
Yeah. When he heard AK and gun AK shooting, and he heard and warm up by his face this time, but he didn't hit him.
Yeah.
So he hit him.
rồi
Very
rồi đó cũng là cho của coi product gì
or see they're very sad and very sorrow. So when he got home, he talked to his dad. His mom he cried.
Well, Touchao, thank you very much for your
Okay.
interview.
Okay.